A top F&M senator resigns. Ahead tonight, hear his reasons for stepping down.
Were you among the many New Providence residents whose power was off last night and today? Find out why.
And NPSA semi-final action heating up. We've got the highlights. The National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
The opposition Free National Movement will lose its most senior senator in the upper chamber at the end of the month as Senator Desmond Bannister tendered his resignation. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kendino Knowles.
And good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. The opposition Free National Movement Senator Bannister, who currently serves as leader of opposition business, is the second opposition senator to resign in less than a year. Now, F&M officials say the resignation comes as no surprise and maintains there's no rift in the party. Our Andrew Knowles sat down with Mr. Bannister this afternoon and tells us more in tonight's top story.
First of all, I am an F&M. Secondly, I support the leader of the party and the deputy leader.
F&M Senator Desmond Bannister says his resignation from the Senate is simply a fulfillment of an agreement between he and Dr. Minnis, as stipulated in his resignation letter to the party's leader dated September 1st. That agreement was for him to serve for 1 year as opposition leader in the upper chamber to mentor those newcomers to politics.
It was no secret to my Senate team that I would be leaving. It was no secret to the leader of my party and, quite frankly, to some of the members opposite, that I would not be staying there more than a little over a year. And so it was only in pursuance to that commitment that it is now time for me to move on.
Senator Bannister was considered the most seasoned opposition senator, and his resignation is being viewed as a blow to the party. However, he believes that he's leaving behind a young, formidable team in the Senate. He maintains, however, that his resignation is in no way linked to a lack of confidence in party leader Dr. Hubert Minnis.
Certainly nothing that I've done is to be seen as any lack of confidence in the leadership of our party. I think Dr. Minnis has done a remarkable job as leader.
His resignation indicates no rift within the party. The leader is on record as saying that he had every intention of rotating his constitutionally provided Senate appointees. And I suspect that when the time comes for him to replace another senator or to give someone else an opportunity to be a part of the public dialogue, those naysayers and critics and fire alarm setters are going to be coming out saying that again the resignation is evidence of rift.
Meantime, Prime Minister Perry Christie says he's not surprised by Bannister's decision and wished him well in his endeavors.
I didn't get the impression that he was positioned in his own mind of being a career politician. Now, I don't know what's happening in the F&M, and for that matter, really it's none of my business to involve myself in whether they're weak or they're strong and what is happening there.
Now, party officials expect the new senator to be named in time for when the Senate resumes. Andrew Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Bradley Roberts believes Desmond Bannister's resignation from the Senate is clear evidence of a growing rift within the leadership of the Free National Movement. In a statement issued today, Mr. Roberts attributes this latest act of political abandonment as a referendum on F&M leader Dr. Hubert Minnis's leadership, which was weighed in the balance and found woefully wanting. Chairman Roberts pointed out that Dr. Minnis is well advised that creating a circus outside of Parliament and siding with those who would harm this country's reputation in order to create confusion and to distract from the people's business are not the qualities of effective leadership. Mr. Roberts' statement concluded that unless and until there is a paradigm shift in Dr. Minnis's leadership style, Bahamians should not be surprised if this disaffection within the Free National Movement continues.
Hundreds of young Bahamians are preparing to take advantage of the many job opportunities set to come on stream.
And as Janae Noel reports tonight, the group of just over 400 is being equipped with the necessary skills thanks to the National Training Agency.
Robert Clare and Latalia Roll are just two of the 400 persons participating in the National Training Agency program. After the first few weeks in the program, they say they feel more prepared to take on any jobs.
One thing I really learned was that a bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go nowhere unless you change it. So after I learned that, I just decided to stay focused, and where I see myself from now since I passed the first stage is just keep on going and keep on striving for the best, because you never know where you're going to end up in the near future.
I feel great. I am ready. I could say things that I didn't know. They really touched it up, and they give us a better idea how to present ourselves.
Now, during a special ceremony to mark the occasion, Prime Minister Perry Christie and Minister of Labor Shane Gibson commended the participants on a job well done, but told them that this is just the first step.
And this preliminary course, of which you're going to receive a certificate, has been an effort to condition you to understanding how you must feel and think and act as you begin the journey to the next phase.
It is only through training that we will attain world and international status. We did promise, as I said, to double our investment in education and training. And so I came here to encourage you to persevere and dream.
Now, when registration started in June, Agency Director Agatha Marcel said that close to 1,000 persons signed up. However, she said that many of those persons did not continue with the program.
People found out there was no money, no stipend. They figure, I'm not into this. But of the ones that came, they were still hoping that it was the job training program and they would get that money. So on Monday, after we told them that was orientation, they definitely no money. And if they were interested in money as opposed to training, then they didn't need to come back.
And now that the first week of the National Training Agency program is complete, participants will have 1 week off, and then they'll be sent off into the workforce where they'll work toward their city and guild certification in the various disciplines. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Today marks the 12th anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attack in the United States, where more than 3,000 people died. 9/11 was the result of Al-Qaeda, an Islamic extremist group, hijacking 4 transcontinental airlines and using them to strike targets in the United States, including New York and the Washington metropolitan area. Here at home, Chargé d'Affaires at the U.S. Embassy, John Dinkelman, says for him, this date has certainly changed the nature of the world.
It gives us an opportunity, of course, to honor those who died, both in New York City, those who sacrificed themselves above Pennsylvania, those who were attacked in the Pentagon, and most recently, those individuals my colleagues in arms, who died 1 year ago today in Libya. But no matter what tragedy it is that we think about on this day, it gives us an opportunity to look forward a bit and to realize that the scourge and the threat that is terrorism knows no boundaries, it has no borders, it doesn't care who its victims are. It just seeks to disrupt and frankly to ruin civilization. And as like-minded individuals and nations band together to state emphatically and certainly that it is not allowed and will not be tolerated.
Former death row inmate Sean Poitier appeared in the Court of Appeal today, hoping the court would give him a second chance to appeal his life sentence after having a change of heart about the matter back in May. At the time, Poitier, who has already spent 21 years in prison for killing police constable Truman Cooper in 1992, abandoned his appeal against sentence, prompting the appellate court to dismiss the matter. However, during today's proceedings, the appeals panel told Poitier that it could not reopen the matter. He was advised, though, that he could apply to the Privy Council for leave to appeal or write to the Committee on the Prerogative of Mercy asking them to review his sentence. Meantime, Poitier remains behind bars at Fox Hill Prison. Well, testimony continued today in the Leonard Barnett murder trial. Jurors heard from Detective Sergeant Darrell Roll, who testified that Barnett gave him two different statements. The first after he was arrested back in 2004 here in the capital, and the other hours later in Freeport. In the first statement, the officer said Roll denied he killed Rico Farrington and only helped to move Farrington's body after he was murdered. However, in the second statement, Detective Roll said Barnett told him that he and Farrington had an argument over drugs and he shot him 4 times, then hid the body. The trial continues before Senior Justice John Isaacs. And Crown prosecutors dropped their case today against accused armed robbers Valentino Bastian and Charles Panday after the men they are accused of robbing failed to show up in court. Jurors were expected to begin hearing evidence 2 days ago, but when the victims failed to show up to court after expressing concerns about their safety, prosecutors tried to have them testify via video link. However, the court ruled against it, and as a result, prosecutors had to enter a nolle prosequi, indicating that they would not prosecute the alleged armed robbers. Also tonight, 29-year-old murder suspect Bruce Colebrook of Dumping Ground Corner, who was featured among the Royal Bahamas Police Force's most wanted suspects, turned himself in to the Central Detective Unit around 4:35 yesterday afternoon. Colebrook was wanted by police, as we said earlier, for murder. And police recently issued several bulletins of wanted men, and today they arrested 3 of them, including Bernard Dean, wanted for rape, Bruce Colebrook, as we said, for murder, and Lloyd Humes for armed robbery.
Well, several areas of the capital experienced blackouts overnight and throughout the day today. Many areas, including Pinewood, Carmichael Road, Golden Gates, Southern Heights, Prince Charles Drive areas. Some of the power outages lasted as short as 10 minutes and some upwards of 2 hours. Today, some areas experienced outages of a few hours as well. BEC confirmed the outages and said the blackouts were due to a challenge in integrating the new engine at the Blue Hills Power Station. The corporation confirmed that these recent outages were the result of an unusual occurrence. BEC also wanted to add that they have had minimal supply interruptions in New Providence this summer. Now, BEC officials further explained that it has adequate capacity to meet consumer demand and continues to make improvements, including the new unit and the Blue Hill Power Station, to provide a consistent supply of electricity.
In our first look at weather, that persistent mid-level trough remains and will fire up showers and thunderstorms through tomorrow over parts of the northwest Bahamas. But outside of our studios, we have mostly cloudy skies, temperatures 79 degrees, relative humidity 84%, winds out of the east-northeast at 6 knots. Your barometric pressure 1,016.3 millibars, that's 30.01 inches, and it is steady. But stay tuned, temperatures around the Falmouth Islands, traveling boating forecast is still to come.
Coming up, the Education Minister is talking money.
And later on in sports, the Bucks looking for a win in NPSA semifinal action. Find out how they did coming up. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell HELIX Ultra. Performance you can see.